Moscow. How many times have they used Russian natural gas and oil to strangle Europe? Clouds continue to gather around European assets, two of the largest oil producers in Russia. The American sanctions steamroller, having passed through Germany, Bulgaria, and Romania, has reached Serbia, reports the Russian news agency Russian information agency Novosti, citing government sources in Moscow. Alexandros Vucic stated that Belgrade, despite Washington's ultimatum, has not nationalized the position. The assets of Gazprom Neft, specifically the oil refinery, are under external management. Alexandros Vucic stated that Belgrade, despite the ultimatum, has nationalized the assets of Gazprom Neft. Specifically, the oil refinery is under external management. With the supply of raw materials from Russia, Belgrade, despite the ultimatum from Washington, nationalizes Gazprom's assets, and specifically the oil refinery. Subtitles author wave. Belgrade, despite Washington. Neft. Specifically, the oil refinery is under external management. Subtitles author wave. Belgrade. Washington has nationalized assets of Gazprom, Neft. Specifically, an oil refinery in Belgrade has been placed under external management. Despite Washington's ultimatum, it has nationalized the assets of Gazprom Neft. Specifically, the oil refinery in Belgrade has been placed under external management, and despite Washington's ultimatum, it has nationalized the assets of Gazprom Neft. Specifically, oil. Ukraine war. The Russian army already controlled 50% of Kulipolis last week. Belgrade, however, has not nationalized the assets of Gazprom Neft. Specifically, the oil refinery, Belgrade, despite Washington's ultimatum to Gazprom. Specifically, the oil refinery, Belgrade, despite Washington's ultimatum to nationalize the position. Assets of Gazprom Neft, specifically Petrili. To hold their positions, however, their efforts are undermined by problematic logistical support. Belgrade, despite a Washington ultimatum, has not nationalized the assets of Gazprom Neft, specifically the petroleum refinery. Belgrade, despite an ultimatum from Washington, has nationalized the assets of Gazprom Neft. Specifically, the refinery in Belgrade, despite an ultimatum from Washington, has nationalized the assets of Gazprom Neft. Specifically, the Petrelli refinery. Belgrade, ultimatum from Washington, nationalize position. Assets of Gazprom, specifically the Petrelli refinery in Belgrade, despite the ultimatum from Washington, has nationalized National Electronic Funds transfer assets. Specifically, the Petrelli refinery. Belgrade, despite Washington's ultimatum, it has not nationalized Gazprom Neft's assets. Specifically, the petroleum refinery will face strong combined Russian frameworks. Belgrade, despite Gazprom Neft's ultimatum. Specifically, the petroleum refinery in Belgrade, despite the ultimatum from Gazprom Neft. The Belgrade refinery, despite Gazprom Neft, specifically the petroleum refinery.